Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. What's going on, guys? Today we are updating the long overdue theme team tier list. The plan for today's video is to talk about the top 10 theme teams currently in the game. So yeah, let's just get started. So coming in at number 10 is the Colts theme team. They are also getting the LTD Quentin Nelson to help out the offensive line a little bit. But while I'm recording this, he's not in the game yet. So we have Jeff Saturday at center. The offensive line isn't the greatest, but you have two solid pieces right there. Tight end, again, not the greatest, but I love the fact you have Andre Johnson. This card is super underrated. The only thing that kind of hurts this card a little bit is his speed, but still has great size, great stats. And the fact you're able to get +2 on the Colts team is super nice. You have another 95 speed receiver right here with Paris Campbell. You have 97 speed Marvin Harrison. You, of course, have Eric Dickerson and another option with Marshall Faulk, but Dickerson is huge for this team. And on defense, you do get Antonio Cromartie and Ted Hendricks. So you are getting a bunch of just really solid cards, a bunch of top tier cards with +2 speed like Marvin Harrison, Dickerson, Cromartie, and of course Ted Hendricks, and also pretty solid pass rush. And always the Colts team is just pretty solid. So yeah, the Colts coming in at number 10 today. Make sure I click the right thing. Yep, that was right. We are doing this correctly. Let's go ahead and let's throw the Colts right here next to the Ravens at B tier. So coming in at number 9, we have the Vikings. And I was going back and forth with the Vikings, and there are, a couple teams that are kind of like this. I mean, maybe only one team that's kind of like this, that's above the Vikings, but this is a very one-sided theme team. And that one side is just so elite. Like, it really is. I mean, this theme team has so much depth at receiver. You could run Justin Jefferson. You can run Adam Thielen. You have Cordell Patterson. You have Dalvin Cook. You have 2 running back options. You have Randall Cunningham here, who is a quarterback that severely does benefit from a theme team because he's already super fast. The card's already super good with 95 speed. Randall Cunningham on a Vikings team, super nice. You have TJ Hawkinson and a decent offensive line. However, defense is where this team does fall off a cliff. But they are going to be in the playoffs, so they should get some upgrades, but damn, do they need upgrades on defense. Patrick Peterson, I think I had him like low A tier to high B tier on my last cornerback tier list, but he's their only corner and really only DB. The rest of the team is going to have to be cheats. But for me, the offense is so good not to have them in the top 10. It's just so good. It's so elite. And I kind of wish we still had 25-25 teams so you could run this offense with a team that's really good defensively. But of course, this year with theme teams being 40 out of 40 or 40 out of 50, in order to get +1 speed, there is, a lot less, there's a lot less flexibility with chems and stuff. And by the way, the team behind the face cam is the Saints. If you were wondering, it is it's the Saints. And I should probably say that the Legends theme team and the Zero Chill theme team right now are without question an S tier theme team. Obviously, all the top tier cards that have come out over the last month play on a Zero Chill team, and all the top tier cards that come out basically every single drop are on a Legends team. They're not going to be on today's tier list, but just know they're probably, Legends is definitely number 1. Legends theme team killed Mutt, I think really this year, but that's my opinion. Legends theme team is really good, as well as the Zero Chill theme team, which I will show right here as well. You have both theme teams. This team will phase out. The Legends theme team won't, obviously, for obvious reasons. Legends theme teams, the Legends don't stop coming out. Zero Chill is completely done. So both those theme teams right now are S tier, and Legends will stay that way. I thought I should probably say that in this video. Hey, real quick before we hop into our next team, I have to remind you to hit that subscribe button. We are less than 400 subscribers away from 40,000, so of course, if you are new here, any support is appreciated. Regardless, I do appreciate you watching today's video, and hopefully you do enjoy the rest of the tier list. So next team up is the 49ers theme team, and this team is an interesting one because usually the Niners team is really, really good. They have a good offensive line. I feel like with us getting a bunch of new name legends that we should see a lot more Niners, But their receivers, I mean, they're okay. Debo 97, wait, Debo's 96 speed, sorry. Debo 96 speed. You also could have the 95 speed Deion Sanders. Stevie Johnson, solid. Randy Moss, obviously still good. Christian McCaffrey's here. You have Steve Young at quarterback. So you have two decent quarterback options here. Delaney Walker, I like. George Kittle, still pretty good, especially with that +2 speed boost. And then on defense is where, this is the reason why I have them where they are, because their offense isn't that great right now. But you have Bill Romanowski, who apparently was a legend. I did some research on him, and yeah, I'm surprised I didn't know who he was. We have Ken Norton, a Fred Warner upgrade I'm sure is coming. You have Ronnie Lott, you have Rob Woodson, who can kind of play. I'd probably play Rob Woodson at safety on this team right now. Obviously, yeah, I have him there, but then I'd run Ward. That looks like a pretty good setup to me. I mean, if you don't have Deion, then you kind of have to run it like this a little bit more. But yeah, the Niners team, it's decent right now, and I'm sure. I don't usually like factor in potential when it comes to theme teams in these kind of videos. I usually don't, but with the Niners, it's kind of tough not to, because they're always just so good and they're pretty balanced. They don't really knock your socks off anywhere, but they're just solid. So coming in at number 7, we have one of the most underrated theme teams in the game right now, and that is the Chargers. And that's mainly because the Chargers theme team is never usually good, and they are going to get playoff cards, so keep that in mind. But you have Mike Williams, you have LaDainian Tomlinson, you have Geno Smith, who I would probably run here, but you could always run a cheat, or Elway, obviously. I don't really consider Elway, a card in this game, because he is so expensive, but if you got it like that, you got it like that. You do have an edge protector. I would probably cheat on the offensive line, but this is the only team that you are able to boost Donnie Parham +2 speed, and he's obviously already super good with 91 speed, but getting him to 93 is super nice. Also, he can be boosted on a zero chill team, but obviously super top tier. You have Mike Williams, top tier receiver, Stevie Johnson, a good running back, solid quarterback. And then on defense, you have some pretty good cards. Like, for example, I think Donnie can be a solid user with +2 speed here again. Desmond King does turn to a pretty solid corner with the +2 speed, as well as Antonio Cromartie, Rashawn Jenkins, Derwin James, guys like that. Just a really solid theme team who I think has some pretty good players on offense. Also, Mike Williams, still an S tier receiver. Putting him on a theme team, this is also the only other theme team besides Zero Chill that can boost his speed. So I really do like the Chargers theme team. And I don't think they can be A tier, because the defense, in my opinion, it's missing some pieces a little bit, but with some playoff cards, I could definitely see them getting into that A tier to potential low S tier. Just a really underrated theme team that I'm personally a fan of. And also they have good edge rushers like, Joey Bosa. Even Uchenna Nwosu, who's a super underrated 89 overall with 3 traits. That is pretty solid. So Chargers, they're going to be going to high B tier at number 7. Okay, so coming in at number 6, we have the Raiders theme team. And for this point of the year, the Raiders theme team really isn't what the Raiders theme team should be. I mean, defensively, they're amazing. It's the main reason why they are going to be our first A-tier team today, mainly because of Bo Jackson. I was looking through the teams, and I was like, oh, yeah, they have Bo Jackson, 100%. They need to be top tier. They're also the Raiders. It's kind of the same thing I said for the Niners. However, the Raiders aren't getting playoff cards like the Niners are. So usually the playoff promo is something that's a little bit of a miss. They also maybe Devontae Adams is team of the year wide receiver. I could definitely see that. He definitely is deserving. Crabtree's due for an upgrade. We do have Campus Heroes dropping, later this week. So maybe the Raiders get fed. They probably will. EA knows that they make money, but everyone who kind of had the Raiders team in previous Maddens now is a Legends theme teamer. So yeah, it's clear that EA knows what theme teams make them money, and they give those guys cards. But yeah, they're pretty good on defense. They're very top tier on defense. You have Ronnie Lott, Bo Jackson, Ted Hendricks, Charles Woodson. You're able to play Rod really in either spot. Good edge pressure, good in the middle, good users, good linebackers. So just a really solid theme team that I think also has good potential and definitely should be A tier. So coming in one spot ahead of the Raiders theme team is the Seattle Seahawks theme team. And this one might be a bit of a surprise, but I do feel like they are the better theme team. And right now, their receivers are kind of the weakest they've been all year right now. And you can see that there's a lot of good potential upgrades here. I also do feel like Team Diamonds are going to start getting their upgrades the way that early AKA cards have already got their upgrades. So do expect, unless they're going to use a bunch of new names, which hopefully they do without power-ups. They're not married to dropping cards in progression. So maybe I'll be wrong, but I've got a feeling, knowing EA and how they're a little bit lazy sometimes, they are just going to upgrade a bunch of these Team Diamonds, most likely in Campus Heroes, or they'll just do it in Team Diamonds too. They've done that before. I wouldn't put it past them. But, yeah, they've done that before. But, yeah, they're pretty good. Pete Mezzalars is actually still pretty solid, even on a theme team at tight end. Like, the dude's like 6'8", crazy, still good abilities. Marshawn Lynch on a theme team, Kenneth Walker on a theme team, and you have 97 speed Kenneth Walker. The only team in the game that can boost Kenneth Walker's speed is Seattle. And like I said, their receivers are kind of down right now. Brandon Marshall's due for an upgrade. Like I said, Doug Baldwin could be potentially. I don't know how good he'll be. But Jerry, low-key due for an upgrade. DK Metcalf's amazing right now in the meta. And then on defense, you have, I would probably still use Quandre Diggs, but you have, Bobby Wagner's LTD. You have Cam Chancellor still. Tariq Woolen's still amazing. Kobe Bryant being able to boost his speed. Richard Sherman as well. And also some pretty good edge pressure. Like Dwight Freeney's there. You have Shelby Harris to kind of play the middle. And I do love this card. Uchenna Nwosu is one of the most underrated cards in MUT right now, believe it or not. Like, super underrated. No one talks about, like, how like perfectly constructed the card is. He's actually really good. So yeah, Seattle Seahawks, they are going to be right in front of the Raiders, a really good theme team, and also they're always good, so the potential will be there. Maybe if the Lions win, they might get some playoff cards, so we'll see. Okay, so coming in at number 4, we have my theme team, the Jets theme team, who I don't know how they always are good. Like the last 3 years, ever since I've been really running a Jets theme team, or I guess playing MUT, I don't know if, I guess theme teams weren't really a thing before, but they've always been good. I don't know how they've been absolutely miserable a lot of those years in real life. But we have Nick Mangold, Laken Tomlinson, Faneka, just a good offensive line. I would cheat at tackles with edge protectors. Still looking for a tight end, but then outside of that, the team is perfect, really perfect. You have now Plexico Burress. I don't think they would have been as high as they are now if they didn't get the Plexico upgrade as well as the Nick Mangold upgrade. But they have them now. You also have a little bit of versatility at quarterback, Fitzmagic or Mike Vick, which I like. You have 3 great running backs in Chris Johnson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Breece Hall, depending on preference. Brandon Marshall due for an upgrade very soon. If you don't use Keyshawn Johnson, you still have 2 95 speed receivers in Art Monk and Garrett Wilson. Then you also have 97 speed Plexico Burress, which is really nice to pair with 96 speed LaDainian Tomlinson and 96 speed Michael Vick. So yeah, there you go. Also, Casper could fill a tight end, but it's the defense that's on. Like, the offense is great, but it's honestly the defense on this team that is super, super nice. And again, that last 0 chill drop may have not been that great, but for the Jets team, it was actually really good with Plexico Burress and Quinnen Williams as well. Solomon Thomas, I use Jason Taylor as an edge rusher. As far as, users go, you have safety options. You have Ed Reed, who's not pictured here, but you have Ronnie Lott. You have Steve Atwater. You have Victor Green. He's okay. Like I said, probably will get an upgrade soon, like Team Diamonds probably will. But you have Cromartie, Ty Law, and of course Darrelle Revis with potential. Well, guaranteed potential for a Sauce Gardner upgrade, whether it's Team of the Year or Honors, depending on how the year kind of finishes. But I think Sauce is probably a lock for Honors, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, incoming Woolen comments, but I think he's probably a lock. I think Kenneth Walker will probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year, especially after Sunday, but also Garrett Wilson maybe could win that too. I don't know, but that potential's there. So yeah, Jets team super good on offense, super good on defense. Their only real holes are at tackle and tight end, which isn't that big of a deal. It's still a big deal, but I'm going to put them up here at number 4 at the top of A tier. Okay, so for the top 4 teams, the Jets, the Packers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, I ran a poll, and I asked you guys who you guys thought the top 4 theme teams were. I put the Jets in there just to kind of fill a spot. I didn't think they would actually win it, but I was actually torn on the top 3. I was definitely torn on the top 3. So, yeah, the Packers theme team, offensively, they're not an S-tier theme team. Typically, they're not. However, I do really like how they have a good offensive line, which does open up the cheats at these important positions. You can run Jim Taylor at halfback, though, but they don't have a running back. The receivers are very lackluster. You have, tight ends, okay, but their offensive line's pretty good where you can kind of use some cheats there if you really need to, but typically this kind of offense is not landing you at S tier. However, this defense right now, I don't know how you could really find better than this. It's better than even a Legends theme team because keep in mind, you're getting +2 speed. You're getting +2 speed, not +1 on a normal theme team. But you have Reggie White. You have Ray Nitschke, a top tier user. You have Clay Matthews, a good edge rusher. Julius Peppers, Rudy Ford can get up to 94 speed, I believe, which you probably won't even use him because there's so many good safeties. You have Ted Hendricks. I would definitely use Leroy in the box, but these corners are you know, you can't get much better than this. You have Charles Woodson +2 speed, Rasul Douglas +2 speed, Jair Alexander +2 speed to play the slot for you. I mean, Packers theme team defense is so good. And imagine if we still had 25-25s and you were able to pair the Vikings theme team with the Packers theme team. That would just be terrifying. Or obviously the Eagles or the Cowboys theme teams are good offensively too. But those two teams are kind of they're one side on both sides of the ball. But this defense is pretty ridiculous. It might be one of the better defensive theme teams that I can remember really ever seeing. I mean, they're super stacked. So I'm going to be throwing the Green Bay Packers theme team up here at S tier. And coming in at number 2, which means number 1 will be the Eagles theme team. We have the Cowboys, and they're very similar. They have the same quarterback, same running backs, but you know, CeeDee Lamb's here. You have Mike Irvin. And also you have Carmichael on both teams as well. And honestly, Carmichael at 6'8" on a Cowboys or Eagles team is still pretty usable. Like, believe it or not, I know he has 90 speed, but at 92 speed, I mean, he's 6'8". You got to find a place for this guy on your team. There's also Dion there too. But CeeDee Lamb, obviously, getting that exclusive +2 speed boost is super nice for a Cowboys team. Offensive line's usually pretty solid. They'll probably get like a Tyron Smith upgrade at some point. But you have Ditka. Jason Witten's also pretty good on a theme team. And again, a team diamond, so maybe upgrade soon. But yeah, pretty good here with DeMarco Murray, Tony Pollard. You have Drew Bledsoe and Randall Cunningham, depending on your preference, depending on your play style. But then on defense, you also have Carmichael, who's very nice. You have an S-tier cornerback in Trayvon Diggs. You have Darren Woodson. And, of course, you have Malik Hooker with Ken Norton and DeMarcus Ware and Ed Too Tall, who will probably get an upgrade pretty soon with Anthony Barr and Micah Parsons. So, yeah, I definitely do think that the Cowboys theme team is super top tier right now in the game. Again, they're always a pretty good theme team. So I'm not really too surprised that they're up here. But, yeah, Cowboys at number 2. And finally, last but not least, you guys, of course, did decide that the number 1 theme team currently in the game is the Eagles theme team. And I would say I agree. I feel like their offensive line is super good. I do expect like a Landon Dickerson team of the year most likely. You have 3 really good tight ends in Mike Ditka, Dallas Goedert, and Zach Ertz. Honestly, Zach Ertz with short end can probably play like the slot for you. You have 95 speed Art Monk, Carmichael again here on this team, Mike Wallace, AJB. DeMarco Murray, though, I love this card. Super top tier running back in the game. Great abilities. Being able to give him that speed boost is super nice. Randall Cunningham, again, they're going to be in the playoffs. Same with the Cowboys, by the way. I should have said that. But they're going to get some pretty nice cards for that. You have Carmichael at corner with Rasul Douglas, Brian Dawkins, Jordan Poyer, with Bill Romanowski. I don't know. I feel like, you have Javon Curse. I feel like maybe defensively, the Cowboys might have them. Definitely the Packers have them both, but obviously this offense is pretty nice. So, I know I did a poll, but let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys taking the Eagles theme team or the Cowboys theme team? But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Our top 5 theme teams currently in Madden 23 Ultimate Team. Eagles at 1, Cowboys at 2, Packers at 3, Jets at 4, and Seattle at number 5. So yeah, drop a comment down below. Who's too high? Who's too low? What theme team are you rocking with? And yeah, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.